Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, May 26, 2021. Today we're going to recap last night's NBA playoffs and Stanley Cup playoff games, as well as MLB and WNBA, and look ahead to today's games in all the sports. We will go over the odds board for the next golf tournament, which is the Charles Schwab Challenge outright betting is what we're going to be doing. It's the Charles Schwab Challenge. We'll go over the odds and make a pick. Masked Singer finale tonight. We'll preview it and make our final picks. News and notes and my best bet of the day. All right, we will start with the NBA playoffs. 3 games last night. We'll go over them all. And we will look ahead to the 3 games that will be played tonight. Alrighty. Nets over the Celtics 131-108 to take a 2-0 series lead. Kevin Durant 26 points, 8 boards. Marcus Smart had 19 to lead the Celtics. Lakers over the Suns 109-102 to even up that series at 1-1. Anthony Davis 34 points to lead the Lakers. Devin Booker at 31 for Phoenix. And Chris Paul got injured in this game. Hopefully he will be back for Game 3 and for the series for sure. And the Mavericks defeat the Clippers 127-121 to take a 2-0 series lead heading back home to Dallas. Amazing. Luka Doncic 39 points, 7 boards, 7 assists. Kawhi Leonard, 41 points for the Clippers. Now looking ahead to tonight, 7 o'clock NBA TV, the Wizards against the Sixers, Game 2. I project the Sixers as a 13.5-point favorite, total 228.5. Meanwhile, the Sixers are 8-point favorites and the total is 231. I'm going to lay the 8 with the Sixers. Depending on what number you got, the Wizards may or may not have covered for you last time, but I think that the Sixers are going this by double digits, so I'm going to lay the 8 with Philly. 7:30 TNT Hawks Knicks. I'm at Knicks 1, total 218.5. Meanwhile, it's Knicks 2, total 212.5. I'm taking another over. I think that the Knicks offense will be better, and I think the Hawks offense will be better too. Trae Young will put up his numbers, and I think that it'll be a higher scoring game. And if you ask me a winner, I think New York evens it up at 1 apiece tonight. And 10 o'clock on TNT, you have the Grizzlies and the Jazz. I'm at Memphis 11.5, total 224.5. Meanwhile, Utah 11.5. And it's 9 and 218.5. I'm going to go over. I think Donovan Mitchell will be back tonight. I think that Utah's offense is obviously better with Mitchell. I think that Morant and the Grizzlies will score with them. So over 218.5 is the play. And if you ask me the winner, I think the Jazz even this up at 1 apiece. And both them and the Knicks are under, I think, immense pressure to win tonight. Even their respective series is at 1. But obviously, we saw last night with the Clippers, pressure can get to you, and it can come back and bite you a little bit. So if you're the Hawks or the Grizzlies, more so the Grizzlies than the Hawks are playing with house money here. So we shall see what happens. All right. Now move on to the Stanley Cup playoffs. We will go over the results from the 2 games last night, and we will look ahead to tonight's Maple Leafs over the Canadiens 4-0 to take a 3-1 series lead. The number 1 started the game with the goal and assist. Jason Spezza, number 2, started the game with the goal and 2 assists. Alex Galchenyuk. Revenge a little bit against the team that drafted him. And the number 3 starting game with 32 saves on 32 shots, Jack Campbell. his first playoff shutout. There were no goals in the first, but in the second it was William Nylander, his fourth of the playoffs, Spezza, his second of the playoffs, Joe Thornton's first of the playoffs on the power play, and Alex Galchenyuk's first of the postseason as well. And Galchenyuk's was in the third. Hurricanes over the Predators 3-2 in overtime on a game winner by Jordan Staal. The number 3 started game with 23 saves on 25 shots, Alex Nedeljkovic. The number 2 started game with the overtime winner, Jordan Staal. And the number 1 started the game with 2 goals, Martin Necas. First period, the Predators actually got on the board first on a goal by Yakov Trenin to put them up 1-0. Then Necas ties the game at 1 apiece on the power play. In the second period, Trenin again, 2-1 Preds. And that was 53 seconds into the second. And then it looked like the Hurricanes had tied the game at 2 apiece, but they took the goal away because of what Toronto felt was goalie interference, which shouldn't have been. Carolina should have had the game-tying goal there. And that was probably the goaltender interference going the Preds' favor, and it was not goaltender interference because the Carolina Hurricanes should have tied that game at that point. But later on in the game, they did. In the third period, Necas ties it at 2 apiece and in overtime, 2 minutes and 3 seconds in. Jordan Staal's fourth of the postseason, unassisted, wins it in overtime for Carolina as they take a 3-2 series lead. 3 games tonight, 6:30, NBCSN. You have the Penguins and the Islanders. Game 6. Gonna be great. The Islanders are slight favorites at home. -110. Pittsburgh's -106. Over under 5.5. Overs +116. Unders -142. Penguins +1.5 is -315. The Islanders -1.5 is +250. I took the Penguins to win this series. I think that you can make a case the series should be over and the Penguins should be on to the second round to face the Bruins. But we're still here. You can make a case for the over and make a case that this would be similar to Game 3 with a lot of goals. But elimination games normally don't go over. So I'm not going there. I think the Penguins force a Game 7. The best player on the ice, I think, will be Sidney Crosby. I think that it'll be a lower scoring game. I think Tristan Jarry will bounce back. I think Sorokin will play well too, but I could see Pittsburgh playing a similar game like they did in Game 2, low scoring, a lot of physicality, and obviously Crosby, big games. Malkin's been in a lot of big games, so is Chris Letang. I know this Islanders team was in the conference finals last year, so they've been in a lot of big games too, which should benefit them, but I won't be surprised if the Islanders win and move on to the second round. But I think we're going to have a Game 7 here, so give me the Penguins -106 on the island. 8 o'clock, CNBC of the Panthers and the Lightning, Game 6. The Lightning are -158. The Panthers are +134. Over under 5.5. Overs -138. Unders +112. Panthers plus 1.5 is minus 200. Lightning minus 1.5 is plus 164. This is another hard one. I think Tampa closes out. They're better than the Panthers. I almost picked Tampa in 6, but I went cute and picked 5. Should have went 6 out of precaution. But I could see a world where this is Tampa blowout. So give me Tampa in regulation at even money to advance to the second round to take on the winner of the Hurricanes-Predators series. 9 o'clock, NBCSN, Game 6, the Golden Knights and the Wild. Vegas is minus 138. Minnesota's plus 118. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Vegas minus 1.5 is plus 195. Wild plus 1.5 is minus 240. I'm going to go under 5.5 at minus 115. I just think that this is a low-scoring game. And I'm going to say that Vegas closes out tonight. So I think there'll be one Game 7, and the one I think that will be a Game 7 will be Penguins-Islanders. Would I be surprised if all three force a Game 7? As in the Penguins, the Panthers, and the Wild, who are all underdogs tonight? I won't be surprised if there's 3 Game 7s, but I'm going to say there's one. And I think the Penguins are the most likely underdog to win. They're a slight dog tonight. And I think that they're the ones that I think are most likely to force a Game 7. So I'm going to go with the Penguins, I'm going to go with the Lightning, and I'm going to go with Vegas for my outright winners. But for the plays, Penguins minus 106, Lightning in regulation at even money, and under 5.5 between Vegas and the Wild at a juice number of minus 115. All right, now we'll move on to Major League Baseball. We will go over the games from last night, and we will look ahead to what should be a busy day today in Major League Baseball. Cubs over the Pirates 4-3. The Cubs 25-22. Pittsburgh 18-29. Jake Arrieta to win. He's 5-4. Cody Ponce to loss 0-1, and Craig Kimbrell gets his 10th save of the season. Phillies over the Marlins 2-0. The Phillies are 24-25. Miami's 23-25. Vince Velasquez wins. He's 2-0. Sandy Alcantara to loss 2-4. And Hector Neris gets his 8th save of the season. Blue Jays over the Yankees 6-2. The Blue Jays 24-23. Yankees are 28-20. Steven Matz to win. He's 6-2. Corey Kluber to loss. He's 4-3. Reds over the Nationals 2-1. The Reds are 21-25. Washington is 20-24. Tyler Mahle to win. He's 2-1. Max Scherzer to loss. He's 4-3. And Lucas Sims gets his 2nd save of the season. Braves over the Red Sox 3-1. The Braves are 24-24. Boston's 29-20. Charlie Martin to win 3-2. Garrett Richards lost 4-3. Will Smith gets his 8th save of the season. Indians over the Tigers 4-1. The Indians are 26-20. Detroit's 18-30. Aaron Civale to win 7-1. Therese Cabal to loss 1-7. And James Karinchak gets his 6th save of the season. Mets over the Rockies 3-1. The Mets are 22-20. The Rockies are 19-30. Miguel Castro to win. He's 1-1. Chichi Gonzalez lost. He's 2-3. Edwin Diaz gets his 8th save of the season. Royals over the Rays 2-1 as the Rays' winning streak finally comes to an end. Casey's 23-23. The Rays are 30-20. Brad Keller to win. He's 4-4. Rich Hill lost 3-2. And Kyle Zimmer gets his 2nd save of the season. Twins over the Orioles 7-4. The Twins are 19-29. Baltimore 17-31. Jose Barrios to win. He's 5-2. Drew Kramer to loss 0-5. And Taylor Rogers gets his 3rd save of the season. Padres over the Brewers 7-1. The Padres are 31-18. Milwaukee 24-24. Getting the win for San Diego was Tim Hill. And Corbin Burns is dealt with the loss. Dodgers over the Astros 9-2. The Dodgers are 30-18. Houston 26-22. Clayton Kershaw the win. He's 7-3. Zach Greinke the loss. He's 4-2. White Sox over the Cardinals 8-3. The White Sox are 28-19. St. Louis 26-22. Lucas Giolito the win. He's 4-4. Jack Flaherty the loss. He's 8-1. Liam Hendricks is 10th save of the season. So that was the classic Vegas nose game. Angels over the Rangers 11-5. The Angels are 21-27. Texas is 22-28. So best bet comes through. The Angels do it by themselves. Andrew Heaney to win. He's 2-3. And Hyung Jung Young the loss. He's 0-2. Mariners over the Athletics 4-3. Seattle is 23-26. Oakland's 28-22. Paul Sewald the win. He's 2-0. Cole Irvin the loss 3-6. And Rafael Montero gets his 6th save of the season. And the Giants over the Diamondbacks 8-0. The Giants are 29-19. Arizona's 18-31. Kevin Gausman the win. He's 5-0. And Corbin Martin the loss. He's 0-2. All right. Today's games, 1 o'clock, you have the Orioles and the Twins. Jorge Lopez and Michael Pineda. The Twins are minus 198. The Orioles are plus 166, over under 9. Overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Orioles plus 1/2 is minus 126. Twins minus 1/2 is plus 105. I'm going to go under 9 at minus 105, but I don't feel good about it. 2 o'clock, the Cardinals and the White Sox. John Gant and Carlos Rodon. The White Sox are minus 215. The Cardinals are plus 180. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 106. Unders minus 114. Cardinals plus 1/2 is minus 114. White Sox minus 1/2 is minus 105. I'm going to go Cardinals as the big dog here, plus 180. That's too high of a number for the Cardinals, so I'm taking them. 3:30, the Mariners and the Athletics. Robert Duggar and James Kaprielian. In terms of a pick here, if the total is anything less than 9, I'm going to take the over. 4 o'clock, Rangers Angels. Dane Dunning and Griffin Canning. The Angels are minus 126. The Rangers are plus 108. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 108. Unders minus 112. Rangers plus 1/2 is minus 196. Angels minus 1/2 is plus 162. Tough one. I'm going to go over again. 8.5 at minus 108. $6.30 of the Cubs and the Pirates. Trevor Williams and Will Crow. The Cubs are minus 138. The Pirates are plus 118. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Cubs minus 1/2 is plus 122. Pirates plus 1/2 is minus 146. I'm going to go over 8.5 at minus 115. The Phillies and the Marlins. You got Aaron Nola for Philadelphia. We don't know who's going for Miami. And if the total is anything higher than 8.5, I'm going to take the under. And then conversely, I'll take the over if it's 7 or lower. 7 o'clock, you have the Blue Jays and the Yankees. Alek Manoah making his big league debut against Domingo Germán. Yankees are minus 164. The Blue Jays are plus 138. Over under 9.5, minus 110 each way. Blue Jays plus 1/2 is minus 146. Yankees minus 1/2 is plus 122. I'm going to go under 9.5 at minus 110. Domingo Germán's pitched well lately. Yankee offense will be a little better, but I think that my under pick here is Germán pitching or continuing to pitch well. Next up, you have the Reds and the Nationals. Jeff Hoffman and Joe Ross. Nats are minus 152. The Reds are plus 128, over under 10. Overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Reds plus 1/2 is minus 154. Nats minus 1/2 is plus 128. I'm going over 10 at minus 104, but I don't feel good about it. Next up, the Braves and the Red Sox. You got Nick Pivetta and Drew Smyly. Red Sox minus 130. The Braves are plus 110. Over under 10.5. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. Braves plus 1/2 is minus 192. Red Sox minus 1/2 is plus 150. I'm going to go under 10.5 at minus 108. I think that's a little high, but it could bite me in the ass. Next up, you got the Indians and the Tigers. You got Tristan McKenzie against Jose Urena. I don't see any lines up for this, but if I had to make a pick, I would, the Tigers are going to be a dog. So, no, it's right here. It's up. Indians minus 132, the Tigers plus 112, over under 10, overs minus 106, unders minus 114. Indians minus 1/2 is plus 126, Tigers plus 1/2 is minus 152. I gave away the pick. I'm taking the Tigers as a dog. Next up, we got the Rockies and the Mets. You got on the mound for this one. I apologize, guys. It's loading. Herman Marquez and Marcus Stroman. And now I'm trying to get the lines up from FanDuel here. If the total is anything less than 8, I'm taking the over. That's what I'm going to tell you guys right now. The total is 6.5. I'm taking the juiced over at minus 120. Royals, Rays, Tyler Glasnow, Mike Minor. Rays are minus 220. Royals are plus 184. Over under 7. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Royals plus 1/2 is minus 122. Rays minus 1/2 is plus 102. Let's go Rays run line. Minus 1/2 and plus 102. 7:30, you have the Astros and the Dodgers on ESPN. Trevor Bauer against his former team. Or not his former team, but his former rival a little bit here, Luis Garcia. And, boy, Bauer's going to get some boos here because, he's very open about the Astros and all that. So, it's going to be a great game. Trevor Bauer pitching in Houston. Dodgers minus 132. The Astros are plus 112. Over under 8. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. Dodgers minus 1/2 is plus 128. Astros plus 1/2 is minus 154. I think that Bauer's going to be a little distracted to pitch in Houston. So guess what? I'm betting against him, taking the plus 112 with Houston here. Padres, Brewers. Chris Paddock and Adrian Hauser. The Padres are minus 136. The Brewers are plus 116. Over under 8. Overs minus 106. Unders minus 114. Padres minus 1/2 is plus 128. Brewers plus 1/2 is minus 154. I'm going to go with the Brewers plus 116 as the dog here. It says Eric Lauer's pitching for Milwaukee, not Adrian Hauser. So maybe one's the opener. And last but not least, 9:30, Giants, Diamondbacks. Johnny Cueto against Merrill Kelly. Giants are minus 118. Diamondbacks even money. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Giants minus 1/2 is plus 136. Diamondbacks plus 1/2 is minus 164. I'm going to go with the Giants run line. -1.5 at plus 136 as my pick for this one. All right. Now we'll do the WNBA. As we will go over the games from last night, and we will look ahead to tonight. Alrighty then. The Mystics over the Fever, 85-69. The Mystics are 2-3. Indiana 1-5. Tina Charles, 30 points for Washington. Tiffany Mitchell at 11 for Indiana. Dream over the Sky, 90-83. The Dream 2-2. Chicago 2-2. Tiffany Hayes, 26 points for Atlanta, and Kalia Cooper, 21 points for Chicago. And the Storm over the Sun, 90-87 in overtime. What a great game. Seattle 4-1, Connecticut 5-1. Sue Bird, 21 points to lead Seattle, and Jonquel Jones, 28 points and 13 boards for Connecticut. One game tonight, 10 o'clock, CBS Sports Network. Another great game, the Aces and the Mercury. So I have Liz Cambridge and the Aces against Diana Taurasi, Brittany Griner, and the Mercury. I'm going to go with the Mercury at home. I think they're in a good spot. They play well at home. I like Taurasi in the spot, so give me the Mercury at home against a good Aces squad. All right, now I'm going to make my pick for the Charles Schwab Golf Tournament. I'm going to go through the notable odds for the Charles Schwab Challenge. Jordan Spieth's a 10-1 favorite. Colin Morikawa's 12-1. Justin Thomas 13-1. Daniel Berger and Patrick Reed are 19-1. Abraham Answer's 21-1. Corey Connors, Joaquin Niemann, Scotty Scheffler, Tony Finau, Will Zalatoris, all 23-1. Justin Rose 28-1. Brian Harman 31-1. Charlie Hoffman 32-1. Emiliano Grillo 41-1. Gary Woodward, Phil Mickelson each 43-1. I still can't believe Phil won that tournament. Jason Kokrak's 47-1. Ryan Palmer 60-1. Billy Horschel 65-1, as well as Kevin Na, Kevin Stroman, Matt Wallace. Chris Kirk and Sergio Garcia 70-1. Matt Kuchar and Russell Knox are 75-1. Brant Snecker and Cameron Triangle are 80-1. Brandon Grace, Matt Jones, Siwoo Kim 85-1. Brendan Todd, Harold Varner III, Keith Mitchell, Lee Westwood, all 90-1. Kevin Kisner's 95-1. Ian Poulter, Harry Higgs, and CT Pond 100-1. Joel Dahmen's 110-1. Carlos Ortiz, Doc Redman 120-1. JT Potson's 130-1. So is Taylor Gooch and Lucas Glover. Dylan Fratelli, Camp Champ, Jonathan Vegas, all 140-1. Luke List is 150-1, so is Sebastian Munoz. Adam Hadwin's 180-1, so is Adam Schenk. Mackenzie Hughes is 180-1, so is Pat Perez and Patrick Rogers. Richie Wierenski's 180-1. Crazy Zach Johnson's 180-1. Bryce Garnett's 300-1. Yeah, now we're in the wacky odds. Mark Hubbard, 350-1. So in terms of a pick, this is somebody that I think has really broke onto the scenes in the golf world over the past couple of months, and that is Will Zalatoris. And he'll be my pick at 23-1 to win the Charles Schwab Challenge. Alrighty, now I'm going to go over the latest news and notes. Some interesting stuff indeed. The NBA awards are being announced throughout the week, and the latest one they announced was for the Most Improved Award, and it obviously went to New York Knicks power forward Julius Randle. Randle flat out deserved it, and he's somebody that helped carry the Knicks to the postseason, and he improved in all of the facets of the game. And now the pressure's on him to deliver in Game 2 tonight after a poor Game 1. It was really cute to see that his son surprised him at practice with the Most Improved award. I know that meant a lot to Julius, and I know he's close with his son, so it was a nice moment to see, for sure. Lakers Twitter was taunting the Clippers after the Clippers went down 0-2 last night in that series. So, Ari McDonald finally made her WNBA debut as she scored 8 points off the bench in the first quarter. There were Dodger fans in Houston last night chanting "Cheaters" as the Astros took the field last night. The new MLB home run leader is Vladimir Guerrero Jr., as he now leads the Bigs with 16 bombs as he took Corey Kluber deep last night. So Joe Kelly spoke about the Astros hate. He said a lot of people that talk shit online wouldn't do it in person. That's interesting. This is something cool. Max Scherzer crashes Georgetown's graduation at Nationals Park as he was throwing during the ceremony. That's funny. I'm sure that anybody in that audience was probably on their phones taking pictures of Scherzer. And some news coming down. Former Senator John Warner of Virginia has died at 94. So thoughts and prayers go out to Warner's family. So that's just news coming down right now as we speak. We talked about Corey Kluber. He left the game early with right shoulder tightness. If he goes on the injury list, this is a big loss for the Yankees. And he's somebody that really got them going with his fine pitching. Him and Domingo Germán really have stepped up as the next two starters behind Garrett Cole in that rotation. Zach Plesac is on the injured list for Cleveland with a fractured right thumb, as he was aggressively removing his shirt. So, Zach Plesac out for the Indians. Bryce Harper's on the injured list, too, with a forearm contusion. Hopefully he gets better soon. 49ers running back Jeff Wilson out 4 to 6 months as he underwent surgery to repair a torn meniscus and will be sidelined throughout the start of the season. That's a big loss for the Niners. Jeff Wilson really was a good find for them. Bruce Arians speaks and says that Tom Brady's knee feels great. And Arians says that he said it's the best he has felt. So that's good. Joe Burrow says that his knee is 85% as he hopes to be cleared by week 1. We talked about Julius Randle winning Most Improved. And here's something funny. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio calls out Trae Young in a press conference as he tells Young to stop hunting for fouls while rocking a Knicks hat during his press conference. So, just a funny act there by the mayor of New York City. The NFL is expecting full stadiums this year as 30 of 32 teams are cleared for full capacity at games. So that is great news. A.J. Brown is trying to get Julio Jones on the Titans. As he says a voice message on Instagram, "Come vibe with me, bro. If you want to carry the load, you can carry it." The Pelicans are quote-unquote not vibing with Stan Van Gundy, as some New Orleans players were not vibing with the coach during the disappointing 31-41 season. And I don't think it's a guarantee he's back next year, by the way. The NBA draft tiebreaker results. The Thunder win number 4 for the time being over the Cavs in terms of the lottery order. I say for the time being because it's not a guarantee that the Thunder will have the number 4 pick in the draft. But they win the tiebreaker over the Cavaliers. And the Bulls get the 8th pick over the Pelicans and the Kings. Obviously, the Oilers' season ended the other day. And apparently there's rumors already swirling about his future with the team. If you ask me where Connor McDavid is in a year from now, and I'm going to say he's still a member of the Oilers. He's the best player in the league. The Oilers would be stupid to trade Connor McDavid. Stupid. He's the best player in the league. He has, I think, the most trade value in the league. And in any trade, even if the Oilers get back 3 draft picks, they still lose the trade in my mind because Connor McDavid's just that good. Alex Ovechkin confident that he'll resign with the Capitals. He says, we still have time, obviously. I want to finish my career here. I'm pretty sure we will get something done soon. So, Alex Ovechkin's contract is up at the end of the year, and I think the Great 8 will be back in Washington too. That's hard to imagine Alex Ovechkin playing for another team. Although it was hard imagining Henrik Lundqvist suiting up for another team. He was supposed to be a member of the Capitals, but obviously he didn't play this year. So if he did play, then he would have been on the Capitals, probably starting for them in the playoffs over their young kids. So Ovechkin confident that he'll be back with the Caps. I'm too confident as well. So there you have it for the news and notes for today. All right, now we will preview the Season 5 finale of The Masked Singer. It was a great season this year. It's so sad to see it come to an end. Already, you have the Black Swan, you have Chameleon, and Piglet. Last week, the Swan talked about facing fears. There's a maple leaf in the hint. Maybe this person's from Toronto. Hello, my name is One. That hint to me tells me that she has a one name. Meaning, one name. So, that hint made me think of my guess. Or my newer guess. Which we'll get to. There's a bee on a freight hint and a fish tank. She's saying Tequila by Dan and Shay. And then the special clue of the week was the clue drop. And her clue drop was for Robin, saying that she was a celebrity VIP. And her and Robin were at an after party together. I think this is JoJo. This relates to the My Name is One guess, one name, JoJo. Chameleon. There's a rainbow, maybe an LGBTQ, potentially, vibe, guess. Trailblaze. There are bricks, adjusting ability. A red double-decker bus. And Chameleon performed Oh Boy by Cameron. The clue drop was for Darius Rucker. And there was a snake in there. And Chameleon said that they shared the stage together. And he mentions Phoenix. Does he refer to Caitlyn Jenner? Or were they in Phoenix together? And I think he said that Phoenix was there, meaning Caitlyn Jenner. Part of me thinks that this is the 2015 ESPYs, where Caitlyn Jenner won that award that she got. And maybe Hootie and the Blowfish, or Darius himself, just performed there as she got the Arthur Ashe Courage Award. That's what Caitlyn Jenner won. So maybe Darius Rucker was at this ceremony, and obviously all the sports stars are there. Carmelo, who my guess is Carmelo Anthony, was there as well. So this makes sense to my guess. So I'm going to assume that this was the ESPYs in 2015, because that's where Carmelo Anthony, Caitlyn Jenner, and Darius Rucker would all be together. And Darius actually guessed Larry Fitzgerald of the Cardinals, because he said that him and Fitzgerald were at an event in Phoenix together. Maybe that's what he's thinking, the city Phoenix, not Caitlyn Jenner's character. So again, my guess for Chameleon is Carmelo Anthony, and I feel really good about it. And last but not least, the Piglet. There was a lot of hints towards a football Sunday. Little Piglet on the Prairie was a hint. There's a llama. Maybe there's a Drew Carey connection. Landscaping. And the song was Bruises by Louis Capaldi. The clue dropper was for Jenny. There's a poker chip, and Piglet said, always go all in, especially for charity. My guess for this is Mark Wahlberg, her brother-in-law. And this makes sense to me now because Cloodle-Doo seemed to have some real good info on the Piglet. And who was Cloodle-Doo, as we saw last week? Donnie Wahlberg, Mark's brother and Jenny's husband. So that all makes sense. And there are some other clues for Mark as well, like Bruce Willis being his idol. And obviously Mark and Bruce Willis, I believe they've worked together several times. So that's where I'm getting Mark Wahlberg from. And last week, Yeti surprisingly went home, and I got it correct. I thought it was Omarion, and it was Omarion. And my first impression guess was Justin Timberlake for that. So how I think this will play out. I think that the winner of this will be Piglet. Second place, I really think that Black Swan's going to give it her all tonight. I think she'll come in second, and I think Chameleon will come in third. I think Chameleon will be Carmelo Anthony. I think that Black Swan will be JoJo. And I think that Piglet is Mark Wahlberg. And it's just the irony of Donnie and Mark being unmasked back-to-back weeks, I think is really cool. And obviously, if I have a different guess while watching the show tonight, then I'll obviously change my guess if that's the case. If like a new clue pops up that makes me think that it is indeed somebody else. Alrighty then, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I am going to pick the same thing as I did last night. I never do it. Pick the same thing twice in a row, but I'm going to do a unit and a half on the over 8.5 in the Rangers-Angels game. So, there you have it. Best bet, over 8.5, again, between the Rangers and the Angels. Alright, so that's it for the show today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything from the NBA to the NHL, the Major League Baseball, WNBA, recap the Masked Singer finale, look at the leaderboard for golf as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.